ahead and cover quite a bit without hopefully getting deplatformed. I wanted to go ahead and show you the Truthmobile. It's been seen almost 40 million times at the different conferences, Flat Earth International Conference Series. And once again, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And so that's a big part of my purpose in what I do. I'm living a life that's been radically changed because of the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, changing me. I was spiritually deader than a hammer and did not know it. So that's the truth about that. And so this is more than a car. It's more than a transportation system. It's got quite a bit of branding across multiple platforms, except for Twitter, now X, because I've been permanently deplatformed from there. Supposedly the free speech oasis is not wanting to hear the truth from me. The truth about what? Well, the truth about everything that I've been able to find out about, and having some help from my friends also. Wow, that's an important reality to be aware of. Let me see here. So some of what I wanted to talk about is the enormity of what I'm wanting to do is to help people understand the reality of the battle that we're in. It's not just a battle between artificial intelligence and humanity. It's got to do with the battle between good and evil, the representative family members of both, the Most High and the usurper, the fallen and the elect angels, and then the technological enslavement of many of those human beings that are indwelt by either the Holy Spirit or the fallen one. The other reality of this vehicle and this battle that we're in is that it's a mobile broadcast studio, which I'm using right now, obviously in the mobile format. I did a short this morning. It wasn't technically a short. I just did a little video that I didn't add to my playlist yet, showing a Toyota Prius. They get about 50 miles to the gallon. I had one that had a catastrophic flaw that required a $3,000 repair at the dealer. Most of the private mechanics in this area that I called around, I couldn't find anybody to do it for less than a few $100s an hour, and the list price of the part was $1,800. So if I had to do it over again, I would have probably waited until I had the money to get the part. I thought it would be easier to get a different car. Not so much because of the cost of it. Now somebody apparently broke some kind of law, and there's the state trooper to help them remember or remind them what they need to do differently next time. It's one of the reasons why I obey the laws, come to complete stops, go the speed limit, all of that. It makes a big difference. I want to enjoy the ride, not only in the car, in the ride of life. What ends up happening is that we have a chemical cocktail of neurotransmitters that operate in our brain, in our noodle, so to speak, some call it. It's our cognitive function, our perception of this reality all around us. So you're not actually seeing me right now. You're seeing if you're looking out the window, you might see me, or if you're in a car next to me, perhaps. However, what you're looking at is a digital capture and a transmission and a reassembly of all these digits. It's not movie tape, it's not tape or film, it's digital information. And that digital information has a powerful effect. What can be done with it. So in a short version of my life is driven by purpose, the purpose to accomplish what the Almighty created me to do. Why am I here? What am I about? I'd like to not just expose the truth to everybody I can, I want to change the outcome for a favorable outcome. Who else is watching this? The artificial intelligence that listens to every word that I say, pretty much, converts it to a text, and then will go ahead and evaluate whether I've said one of the forbidden words or that would cause this live stream to be flagged. I've done some videos about an emergency broadcast. I would say absolutely. There's an emergency right now going on. And a lot of people are going to die today, tomorrow, and from here on out. And do they really die? Well, their physiology stops working on the battlefield with drones, automated weapons. The death of an individual, or the life, I should say, of an individual on the battlefield can be measured in seconds. What are the real numbers of the death and destruction in the wars going on now, and that have been going on since the beginning of time? Well, I don't know exactly, because they lie. They're lying, I ain't buying. Who's they? Well, Satan and all those that are deceived and perpetuating the official deceptive narrative. So in the end of days, which I believe we're in, I believe this whole thing could wrap up today. May not, but it could. Is here. We're living in the last days. I say that because apparently the history that I was using as an example in my own understanding of this, that there's no way that the tribulation and the 1,000-year reign of Christ could have happened. We don't show it in history. They're lying about that too. We've got a lot of mystery with history. So some clues to that would be the World's Fairs, building massive displays and almost like small cities with architecture that's literally mind-blowing. Why would they build it and tear it down the way that it apparently happened? Well, it was a recrafting of the world narrative. We've got evolution, which is a false, deceptive narrative that gives people something to believe in, that don't want a deity telling them what to do with their body, what to put in their body, what to do with other people's bodies, whether it's to love them, rape them, sell them into sex slavery, exploit them as slaves on a plantation that we all live on right now. Even those that are worth billions and trillions of dollars are slaves. We're all slaves. The question is, who's our master? Let that sink in. That's a true statement. I'm a bond slave of Christ. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I didn't want to. And it wasn't like the Guido from the mob putting the pressure on me. It was more like, I got an offer for you. But first I want to explain something to you. You thought you were born again in 1982? It hasn't happened yet. In fact, till just now. So he gave me new life in him. I was spiritually deader than a hammer until 2014, as best I understand. That's why I'm so unpopular with some and very popular with others. People love and hate me as they love and hate the Almighty, the true living Creator that took up human flesh and dwelt among us. I've got a dashboard light that's out. I need to, it's part of my electrical anomaly, so I need to shine this on there so I can lock it in at the speed limit. It's limited artificial intelligence. How nice. So I can lock it in at the speed limit, and I don't have to stress myself with that regulating of the speed. So right now I'm going over the Intracoastal Waterway in the North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. This is going to be a long form video, meaning I'm going to take a while to cover quite a few topics. I hope that you enjoy that. Some of the people or entities that have contacted me see the car and say, are you a race car driver? Well, I could be. I have some serious racing skills. Professional level motocross racing for me gave me traction recognition and how to change the arc of a corner depending on whether I'm on a motorcycle or in a car, and traction limits and all kinds of different factors. What's the humidity? What's the road temperature? How does all that matter? It makes a big difference, a really big difference. So my dad and I used to go to Elkhart Lake. It's a European style road racing track in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And I've seen some of the fastest race car drivers in the world right there. And what does that have to do with anything? It was a bit of a sorting process. My dad would go there to watch races. He built a race car, a go-kart, used to race those when he was a boy or a young man. And then going to the racetrack, there would be a group of people. He would say, Bobby, you're going to meet people today that you wouldn't normally see out in society. Well, like Paul Newman and many other racers that were there that were just absolutely like prodigies, captains of business and industry. And I found it fascinating. We also went to, and why does that matter? My dad died. My dad died about 7 years ago. I spent the last couple months of his life with him and our 3 adult sons in Wisconsin. And I saw my dad's health deteriorate from a vibrant, very young for his age man to watching how his health deteriorated because of lifestyle, dietary choices, and more. The modern medical industrial complex. He did not have long-term care insurance, and when he ran out of things for them to liquidate, they adjusted his medication, and he died shortly after that. I found out that was systemic, especially when there's a dispute in the family and a third party guardian to manage the liquidation of property and assets. He had a Porsche Boxster S supercharged. He had a Lexus RX 350, a house on the hill in one of the most beautiful areas in the middle of Wisconsin. I've seen the Northern Lights. That's the Aurora Borealis from the yard there. In the summertime, it was spectacular. I learned how to work on a farm out there, and my dad sold steel to the military industrial complex. And my mom, bless her heart, died almost 30 years ago. On the 28th of September, it'll be 30 years ago that she passed on. And she said, Bobby, if the cancer doesn't get you the treatment well. I found out she was right. Absolutely right. I didn't realize that there were options to cancer treatment that involved dietary and lifestyle choices that would radically change outcomes. I didn't know then. So that system killed my mom and dad. I'm totally convinced of it. She worked at a toy factory in Hortonville, Wisconsin, to help pay for my racing effort. She didn't need to. She didn't need to work outside the home. My dad made enough money for that. It's just for us to live. Racing with a motor home and an aluminum enclosed trailer and a power washer to blast the mud off of the motorcycle in between practice and motos, and having a practice bike and a race bike. It was a serious effort. I'm not making this stuff up. I've got pictures where I look like I would be on the cover of a magazine. I am on the cover of some newspapers. I've been on TV. I went from last place out of nearly 60 motorcycles to 7th place. It was a muddy day. And the reason why I tell you that is, well, there's a metaphorical application as well as the reality of what happened there. Because it was muddy, motorcycles would, unfortunately, the drivers would follow the other motorcycle in front of them in the rut they were going through. The problem with that is that when that motorcycle gets stuck, the other bike would run into it. I would go wide open around it, mud flying all over the place, and I passed at one mud hole about 30 motorcycles. I went from a beginner to an expert in about a year. How about that? I learned quick, and I learned to not follow. I learned to lead, and that's what I'm doing now. In this, what I'm wanting to do is reprogram humanity with the truth. Humans are now hackable. Listening to Yuval Noah Harari say, we can now hack all the humans, like he's on the outside of the human race looking in, like a fallen angel living through an avatar guy that he is. I believe that's the case. Klaus Schwab, the architect of a lot of the financial system that we're dealing with, and Larry Fink of BlackRock. He is a Fink. Oh my gosh, it feels like I woke up in a freaking Twilight Zone episode. And so with all that being said, what can we do about it? Well, I would say that the truth about that is to make sure that you're in right standing with the Most High. And like I said, like he said, he's the way, the truth, and the life. He said that. And then he rose from the dead after they killed him. And then he rose from the dead and verified what he was saying was true. He was not an errand boy to do what the Almighty created him to do. He was, in fact, the living Word, the Word of God that took up flesh, dwelt among us, exposed the religious leaders, where he said to the scribes and Pharisees in the Gospel of John, he says, you can't hear me because you're of your father, the devil. How about that? You're of your father, the devil. So when I heard that, I thought, the devil's got children. That means they're not the Almighty's children. They're Satan's children. So no amount of marketing, presentations, or any of that is going to cause a child of God to become, a child of Satan to become a child of God. It's not going to happen. So there's what's called the doctrine of election. It means that the Almighty determined who his children are, or who his children would be. He's outside of time. I'm out of time. So because the Almighty lives in and through me, he's giving me a direction and protection that is unavailable to Satan's children. They're not going to get it. They can't get it. I'm going to rustle some plastic. Sorry about that ahead of time. I just realized that I don't have my favorite key fob, with all my keys on it. I do have a key that works, which is fine. Oh, one of my videos the other night, I talked for an hour and a half and YouTube crashed, so it said. I was doing a blackout video, and part of the thumbnail, if anybody saw it, was this. Check this out. Found it on the beach. Is that bright or what? It's a headlight. Now, what I would say about preparations is get your house in order. Find what you want to have handy and be able to gain access to it. I'm telling myself that too. I need to make sure I can put my hands on things like tools, and I've got plywood at home and a screw gun and screws. I want to be able to board up a window if I need to. Whether it's a hurricane or a fabricated storm or like a zombie apocalypse. Now, this car is an old car. It's a 1993 Lexus LS400. And we've got many cars in this world. And apparently, almost 8 billion people, the humans, are now hackable. There's a weather and people modification technology that's being deployed and has been for quite some time. Our bodies are very sophisticated, so are our brains and our interface with this reality, all of that. So when we swallow or spit, it makes a difference. The mucous membrane traps nanoparticulate like dust and dirt and graphene, oxide, aluminum, barium, strontium. They have electrical properties. Gene editing, CRISPR technology, CRISPR-Cas9. Can hear it. Can hear scholarly presentations on TED Talks. I believe ideas worth sharing. Wow. I don't know if Chris Anderson of TED actually put a block on me, or if it's the AI and a human being isn't even aware that my comments aren't being allowed. How would I know? I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what you know or don't know. So I don't have a messiah complex, as in I have no responsibility where anybody spends eternity. It's not based on what I believe, what I think, or what I say. The Almighty's predetermined all that. What I am responsible for, there he is, the red truck that would have smashed into me. Now, today is Saturday, and it's midday, so we've got people coming and going from all over here. There's another one. It's situational awareness. That's what I'm talking about. It's different than 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So situational awareness also involves our eternity. Where will you spend forever and why? This is a road less traveled. I can guarantee you that. Knowing and exposing the truth about everything, not many people have the opportunity to do it, as far as I'm aware. I do, so I'm seizing the moment. Carpe diem, I believe, is the term for that. Something like that. Oh, look at this. Isn't that cute? I don't know if it's a puppy or a small dog looking like a puppy. But I meet the locals here. Normally when they have dogs, they're locals, but not always. We get travel dogs that come through here, and the people that have them. And rescue dogs too. They rescue dogs from the humane society before they get euthanized or killed. Oh my gosh, my favorite spot's available. How nice. Now I'm just going to cruise in here nice and gentle, and that car that was to my left may have wanted to go here, but I'm gonna just go right on in, and because I can and I want to. It's like my favorite spot right here. He's taking it nice and easy. That's pretty cool. So the Prius was an awesome or an excellent recording studio. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, because one of the things that it has is a generator, a large generator that starts the engine, runs the climate control system. You can set the temperature. It's really quiet and all that. The problem with mine was that the internal anti-lock brake system failure sent a code to the, hey Michael, it sent a code to the operating system that would cause it to not be able to drive. It's kind of windy out here. Let me just show you a little bit of how this looks again. So here's one of the other reasons why I like this spot. There's an offshore breeze right now. That's north. The pier faces south. And on a busy day, hundreds and hundreds of people will see the car that's parked there, whatever car that is. And so one of the reasons why I like to do that, to park there, is that the cars coming down this way will see it. The people walking across to go to Tower 2, which this is, or all the cars coming in here will see it as well. From this location, I can use my phone as a personal hotspot that will allow me to go on my computer and update my profiles on the different social media platforms that I'm on. I went with a different kind of a persona. I've got my coat on, my sport coat on. I was wearing this at the Flat Earth conferences too. It's a cashmere, and it's nice because it adds a little bit of comfort when it's cold and humid, which it is. It's cooler today. So I don't know where you all are on this stream, so I can put this out here and people from all over the world can see it, and I think that's pretty cool. So it's not just the amount of fuel that it would cost to travel the world with this car. For one thing, it would be an impossibility to instantaneously be visible to all the people that can view it on devices. So after I was born again, I thought, wow, it would be so awesome if Jesus had an internet connection and a network of devices to be able to share his word to the ends of the earth around the clock. He's doing it. He's doing it through me and through other people, I would say, like me. I'm doing something very different than others do. And it's not just what you see me do with the camera or interacting in public. That's an important part of it. I know I can be rather wordy. One of the things that if somebody's in a hurry, they're pulling a cart with their children and they've got their beach chairs and they're getting heavy and it's been a long day, and they say, oh, you've got a YouTube channel. I'll say, yeah. Would you like a card to it? And they'll say, typically, what's it about? Well, I'm exposing the truth about everything. If you think I've missed something, you could give me a call, put it in a comment, or send me a link. What's not to like about that? People want to be heard. I want to be heard. I believe everybody wants a voice. And so the common man or woman can have a voice through the effort that I'm putting out there. I know men and women that are very wealthy, and yet some of them are more vocal and some are more timid, and they can participate in this, what I'm doing, by helping. Uh, this car right now gets between 10 and 15 miles to the gallon, and if I don't run super unleaded in it, it runs worse than it does now, and it can leave me stranded and shut off right in traffic in rush hours, and I know that. So when I come in early or go home late, it's not such a big deal. I wanted to share that with you because as I'm going along, that can be a stressor. It can be a real stress. I'm getting hot in here. All that breath coming out of me. So what happens too is I meet people like that. That's Michael there. He watches my videos. We talk when I am here, and I meet the staff. I meet the regulars, and then I meet people from all over the world here too. That's one of the other things. So on some of the stories, maybe they're true, maybe they're not true. People that know or work with software companies like Microsoft, people from the alphabet agencies, all that. What I'm exposing as well would be, and is, suppressed technology. We can clean and power the world with water, run engines on water. You can see it on my channel. Stanley Meyer was able to create a self-sustaining discharge that molecularly disassociated water into its constituent parts of oxygen and hydrogen, and when that was combusted directly and injected into the engine, it was very powerful, and you can see his dune buggy running on that. There is evidence of that being able to be done, not just by him, but by others. And then there's Troy Reed, the magnet motor guy. You can see him too. Oh, they killed Stanley Meyer. I want to back up a little bit. Part of his story is peculiar in that he worked with NASA, he worked with the Department of Defense, and all that. And he was not just a garage, an inventor working in a little garage. He had a purview or a background that was pretty sophisticated technology, and more important than that, he believed that the Holy Spirit directed him to help our country through the oil embargo of the 70s. And he started to work on that. You can hear him exposing the New World Order. He talks about his testimony, that he was filled with the Holy Spirit and that he became willing to do whatever the Almighty wanted him to do. On his dune buggy, he has, you can see it, it's still there, Jesus Christ is Lord, and Job 38 on the side of the car. And it was obvious that he wasn't afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. So one of the things that I would say, if you're not prepared to die for what you believe in, it may not be the truth. It may be a synthetic. It may be a replacement for the truth. The substitute for the truth is deception. It's the lies. Okay, so I'm 62 years old. Don't feel like it. Feel young, full of a lot of energy, and I do what I do because I was created for this purpose. And so right now, as the cars are driving on through, they're leaving. Today is a day of leaving and getting here. It's what do they call that? Well, it's a transition day. There's a lot of transitions around us. People going from being spiritually dead to being spiritually alive. Some people having their plumbing and padding changed. Oh, look at this. How adorable. Hey there. And so that's one of the other. Now, sometimes people will stand over there and wait for an Uber. That's where people a lot of the people wait for their ride to come to work on the rooms, to the hotel maintenance staff. Uh, what happens if they don't do a good job? Well, it's important that they do, because it makes a difference on people's experience. Will they want to stay here again? Um, will they have a pleasant experience? I've seen couples arguing as they're driving around this parking ramp. It's hilarious. So it's humorous, it's tragic, it's reality. And the research library that I've compiled is on multiple platforms. So I was sitting at Sam's Club with this around. I had just this shirt on and my shorts, and I sat down at the cafe area at Sam's Club. Oh, you know what? One of Sam's Club's most profitable sales products is soda, sugar water. They make a tremendous amount of money on that. Most profitable. Anyway, I'm sitting there eating my chicken with my elbows on the table, and a gentleman looks up at me and smiles, and he saw my badge, and he said, "You're a YouTuber?" I said, "I sure am. Would you like a card?" And he said, "Sure." So I stood up and I handed him one of my cards, and he said, "What's it about?" Well, the truth about everything. And he said, "Well, can you give me an example?" I said, "Well, like world government, the military, medical, and financial industrial complexes." And then I sat back down and was sitting there eating my chicken. He had a rotisserie chicken in his cart right there, but he was eating some other food. Hey there, good to see you. And what ended up happening was he moved from his table to the one next to my table. So there was an appropriate guy space in between us. However, he took the initiative to get closer so we could have a more a talk. And it was very cool. I think it was about a half an hour talk. I didn't eat the whole bird. I ate just a little bit of it, and I took it home for me and the kitties. I've got 3 Sphinx kitties, and it's just me and them living there. Anyway, I found out that his name is Mike Edwards, Michael Edwards. He was a safety. I believe his last one of his most recognizable placements in the NFL was Tampa Bay. Oh, that's the lady and her little dog going by that was barking so much. Anyway, Mike was a really interesting man to talk to. He lives local now at the Legends on the Legends golf course area. That's a pretty exclusive area, and he's done well. I saw one of his videos where he made some interceptions. He had some real get up and go, and we talked about a lot of different things, including the fact that um, he had the new Corvette. That I said, yeah, Corvettes got a lot more popular when they started to make them look like Ferraris. And he had ordered one of the earlier models and decided to not get it because of it being new, and that he sold his privilege to have that car to somebody else. I said, well, you know, I ordered the Tesla Cybertruck, and I don't know if I'm going to have the $100,000 or so it's going to take to secure that. I said, I'm going to look into it with Tesla and see if I can sell my early pre-ordered version of that truck, a tri-motor autonomous version. I sent a shirt like this to Elon Musk. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better. I sure can. Okay, so here it is. And then I'm photoshopped in the Roadster. Let's see, can I bring that up and show you a little bit closer? Yeah, I had myself photoshopped in the Roadster. It's photoshopped because it has to be. So, like, here we go. A whole little family, young kiddos and all of that. It's amazing here. Well, anyway, so people come from all over the world to enjoy being here and to have arguments and resolutions and celebrate memorials, weddings, spreading ashes on the ocean, sending balloons up in the air commemorating their lost loved ones. And the past 3 years, this is 9/23 of 2023, some talk about maybe something significant happening today. Anyway, the last 3 years, because of the COVID situation and mandated protocols, there's a lot of interesting occurrences that I absolutely can't elaborate on, or my channel will get taken down. It can get taken down without warning, just so you know. Some people say to me on comments, just tell us what you know. I said they would take my channel down for that. They've taken videos down earlier on in this whole situation where I elaborated on some details that they didn't want public. So, I won't do it. What I will do is I have compiled links in the comment thread of the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars landing video on my channel. It's a declassified CIA document. Now, off-grid farming, or off-grid with Doug and Stacy, you can see him on my channel. He's talking about the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. I did a Facebook video on that about 8 years ago, or 7 years ago, I believe it was. And then 5 years ago or so, I converted it to a YouTube video. You can hashtag Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. In fact, it was a big enough deal that they ended up flooding the YouTube search phrases with the a band that they came up with for that name. How about that? Did I have anything to do with that? Well, perhaps. The Almighty is living in and through me and all of his children that are actually born again. I'm not responsible for the results. I'm responsible for the obedience to do whatever the Almighty wants me to do. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this broadcast, this live stream right now. What kind of economy am I getting right now? It's fine. I'm just sitting here. It works just great. So in this, the people walking around, they'll look this way. The drivers driving through, they wave, they smile. You know what? It's surreal. I have a life of impact. I have a life of passion, purpose, eternal perspective, the power to do what I previously couldn't do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even though it's really, really unpopular with most. A lot of people will give lip service to loving the truth, and I know that they're deceived on some significant issues. For sure. It's not that I believe it. I know it. Knowing is the foundation for the structure of belief. What I know is I'm not the man that I was. I have a power flowing through me that I never had before I was born again. So the short version is, I thought I was born again till I actually was. That would be something I didn't even know was possible because the churchianity that I was a part of didn't teach that. They needed people to slip their hand up while everybody had their heads bowed and their eyes closed. In most cases, why wouldn't they want us looking around when they made an altar call or an invitation to repent and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior? Why wouldn't that be a happy moment? Why wouldn't that be exciting? I was there when my mother slipped her hand up, and I was looking. She was going to die soon, and we all knew it. She was at this. Sorry for the ear itching, but it's what goes on. So anyway, I look forward to seeing my mom and dad again. I hope my dad makes it there. Well, he already would have made it there if he was ever going to make it. It wouldn't be my fault if he didn't. I did a stint in alcoholism and pot smoking and vaping and all of that, and lying, stealing, and cheating. I was afraid to tell the truth. If I told the truth, it would mean, well, you would know I was a hypocrite. I would be one thing publicly and another thing privately. Now, what you see is what you get. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So, a lot of cars. Oh, look it. Aren't they adorable? You got their little travel pets on the dashboard. And so, like, even if I'll just wave to them. It's my recording studio right here, right now. That Toyota Prius, I did not a live stream, a direct recording earlier this morning. I hashtagged hydroelectric car in it. I got a story to tell you. I've got a hydroelectric car video that is blocked, and yet it doesn't look like it's blocked to me unless I go to the settings and see, hey, I can see it in my playlist, but there's no activity happening on it. You know why? Because they blocked it. However, they're letting me see the thumbnail as a legitimate video that's there. What I found out, oh, look at this. They're two matching white, oh, not exactly matching, similar. Oh, look at, and travel dogs. Anyway, it's a video where I show and talk about information that I've shared with Tesla and Elon Musk. Does he know who I am? I would be shocked if he didn't, because I sent him that shirt in a document tube overnight. I overnighted it. You can see my 1:04 video, hashtag Tesla Racing. You can see it. Tesla makes one of the quickest cars in the world. They're a bit heavy. There are electric race cars that are blisteringly quick. I've got a friend who's got a brand new white Tesla Model Y. Isn't that interesting? I said, Harco, he's an old German guy. I'm a German guy too. That's Forsch. We have a similar last name. He's a German origin. Anyway, I said, Harco, they've got technology or suppressed technology that vehicle could be charging while you're driving. And I don't mean just regenerative braking. Magnet motor, fuel cell technology that separates the oxygen-hydrogen bond out of water and then runs it through a fuel cell and creates electricity. Or you can run an engine on water. And he says, nope, can't be done, it's heresy. Violating laws of the conservation of energy and thermodynamics and all that. I said, just remember, I remembered all that stuff. Unfortunately, he believes we live on a spinning globe hurling through space, and he's just worm food waiting to die as he struggles with his cancer and his cancer treatment. I told him the story about my mom, what happened with her. Here's my friend Elias. Is he going to look this way? No, not today. Anyway, Harco is one of my best friends that I disagree with on a lot of stuff, yet we're friends, and I want to help him. I want to help him know that there's healthy options to deal with cancer treatment, of which I can't talk about much here. And people might say, Robert, other channels are talking about it. Oh, yeah. And then they get taken down, their videos get taken down. You can take a look at the different names of major producers of content that have had their channels taken down. High level people, people that have millions and millions of views, and they've been deplatformed. So, what I've been doing is something that the Lord, the Almighty, has been leading me to do, and that is put together a playlist and a research library that involves the playlist. The name, my name, here, let me flip this around, show you the group coming by. And if I were out there, I would talk to them, but not now. Because a lot of these people will be around for like a week or so. I've got a sticker. I've got some stickers strategically placed around here. Now that they see me and me waving at them in the Truth Mobile, they may go, "Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that guy." Yeah, that's part of how it works. One of my new favorite people is Sabrina Wallace, talking about the hacking of humanity in the biofield. We're energetic beings living in a physical body. We've got a soul, a spirit, and how does your phone work? Listen to her. She's hilarious. And she's got some pretty interesting vocabulary. Some of the words that she uses, my friend Ralph, when hearing me use them, say, Bob, we need to get you some different adjectives and adverbs. It's kind of funny. I was dropping F-bombs and stuff. Now, Ralph owned an oil drilling company, he and his brother Jimmy, and he was partner with a man who actually owned the oil company. He lost $12 million in the 80s when the stock market crashed, one of the crashes. And he said, I didn't lose anything. I didn't sell it yet. So there's fluctuations where the money goes from the weak hands to the strong hands. I knew about that. Automated stock trading with high-speed computer systems and algorithms and all that quite a few years ago. My dad did it. That's how he made a lot of money. He also had a pretty substantial financial portfolio learning to do that and practicing that himself, and he sold steel to the military-industrial complex. Oshkosh Truck, if you look at the weapons of war, and it's on a mobile platform, and it's an Oshkosh truck, which many of them are, it's going to have a diesel electric generator on it and electric wheel driven motors. So diesel electric are trains. Trains have they're electric trains with diesel generators on them, and there can be regenerative braking on all that. In that hour and 1 minute long video that got blocked on YouTube, by golly, it's on Odyssey. Odyssey was so kind to mirror my YouTube channel, and even though that YouTube video is blocked everywhere, worldwide, I sent that thumbnail and that video I sent to Elon Musk directly, commented on it. In fact, he was the last tweet, my last tweet was to him. Okay? And so if you think he's a good guy, you may be right eventually if he's born again. Otherwise, well, I believe right now he's not born again with his Champion of Hell Baphomet Halloween outfit that was his Twitter costume or profile for so long. And he's sired children in vitro. So they're lab-grown children, from what I understand. Some have gender dysphoria, and it's all complex. I'm not hating on them. I'm wanting to see everybody born of the Spirit. Everybody. The Holy Spirit, not the fallen one. Okay, so Jesus cast out demons in the recorded New Testament. I believe he's still doing it today. Still doing it today. I know he's changing lives. He changed my life. He's good at that. He's the best at that. So, like, to use an analogy, I was just watching the video, Do You Trust This Computer? And Siobhan Zalis was talking. She worked with OpenAI. Apparently, Elon has a couple of children with her. I was following her on Twitter, now X, and Stuart Russell and Jeffrey Hinton and David Ferrucci of IBM Watson, and on and on and on. Architects of AI. I would hit the pause button and type in their name on Twitter and follow them. And then I followed everybody that Elon was following. How about that? And then I would go to the people he was following and follow those people that were involved in artificial intelligence, gene editing, CRISPR technology. I've commented on Jonathan Cleese from Monty Python, and I would put Tim, the enchanter, there wearing the Baphomet horns on Monty Python and shooting fire out with his finger. It was hilarious. I remember watching Monty Python in Search of the Holy Grail, getting high in a theater with a bunch of other people, pot smoking at the Viking Theater in Appleton, Wisconsin, the drinking capital of the world, apparently. What a deal. Who was it that was from there? Willem Dafoe and others. I'm from that area. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, actually. I was on the street on a bicycle because I had just sheared off a power pole a few days earlier, and I wanted to go drinking on College Avenue. I was of age. I could do that. I was like 18 years old. And I sheared off a power pole with a Chevy Vega. Electricity was arcing off the wires, and I was picking glass out of my forehead. I had a pound of marijuana that blew out all over the floor. Sheared the power pole clean off shortly after that interaction, or before that interaction on College Avenue. And then Barney's Towing Yard had my Vega there. I wasn't charged with drunken driving or marijuana possession or dealing. That was interesting. That all sailed by without a hiccup there. Went to Barney's, and my mom took me by there, and I found all the marijuana. I picked it up and put it in a bag. She was not a happy camper. Oh, Bobby. I'm like, Mom, it's a plant. And I'll tell you what, it was a different plant than it is now. A genetically modified plant that puts out a very powerful THC and other cannabinoids and other addictive properties that made it more like an opiate to me. All I wanted to do was have it and use it and have it, and it involved lying and stealing and deception and control. My wife Joni knew about it, and she would say, if you don't, I'm going to call the cops on you. She didn't have to say, if you don't do this or that, I'm going to call the cops on you. She just said, I'm going to call the cops on you. I'm like, okay. I was holding, and I was dirty, and I was obviously high. And so imagine that for any of you that still indulge in that, or remember what it was like, or see what it's like in others. Imagine if the person you're living with is threatening to call the police on you. Yeah, that's a serious thing. It happens. Well, anyway, Joni and I are rather distant. She lives in Wisconsin near our three sons, grandson, and daughter-in-law. And she believes we live on a globe, and I'm focused on all kinds of conspiracy theories that don't matter. I've been trying to get her to listen to the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars document for over 7 years. And our sons are not, they're not hateful to me, they're just very distant. And they all took a mandated medical, uh, experimental medical treatment, mandated. It was a condition of some of their employment, others just, they took it because of peer pressure or whatnot. So now there's a lot going on with all that. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. So the Holy Spirit is still the Almighty, all knowing Creator, and He can change things. He can change people. He can change outcomes. So people that should have been listening to the truth tellers made choices that were not in their own best interest. It happened to me personally, locally. Now, Joni and I are still married. I'm not going for a divorce, and I believe she's not doing that either. We've talked about it and decided not to. I tell you that because it's part of the story. It's part of the life that I live. I'm not Horseface Harry, and I do have romantic. She said, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I said, "No, I want that to be you." When we were first married, we had so much fun together, doing stuff together. We were married in Huntington Beach, California. We lived in Seal Beach, California, met at a Bible study there, and would go up to Big Bear, California. That's where our honeymoon was, and we did canoeing, and then we went on a four-wheeler ride and got lost out on the trails there, and it got cold at night. That night was going to get into the 40s. I said, we were lost. I said, if we don't get some shelter soon, or find our ride back there where he dropped us off, I'm going to have to break into a house, and then I'm sure we'll be able to get things back. Not that I wanted to. Dying of exposure was not a good option. So anyway, there's all of that. That was before cell phones. What was life like before cell phones? Different. Now the technology that is being put in the food, water, air, personal hygiene products. Look at the labels like on a sunscreen, and the different natural colorings and flavorings and additives, and on and on and on. I could say things that would get my channel taken down right now in that area. So I'm not going to do it. What I would say is they're using that technology to manipulate humanity. What's the evidence of that? Well, I've got it on my channel. Take a good look around. People are absolutely bamboozled, and they don't know it, and they don't want to hear it. So when I explain a story like my family, it's a personal thing. It's personal and it's painful, and I'm not chasing around after cougars, the adult widows that think I'm adorable. There's plenty of them that I meet. And then the high school and college age that find me interesting as well. And I'm friends with them. I have friends that are men and women all over the world, and I'm not looking to pleasure myself at other people's expense. That's just the nature of it. I'm here. The reason my life has so much purpose is because I'm willing to do what the Almighty created me to do, and He satisfies me for doing that. All that breathing in here, I'm going to just open that up and cool it off. Okay. So one of the reasons why I want to, if you're in a position to help resource me to acquire a Prius or a Tesla, that would be great. This car works okay locally. I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing as long as I can keep on doing it. And I know that or I believe that there's coming a time when I won't even be able to do this. It just won't be practical. I might not be here to do it, for one thing. There are perilous times uh, all around us. Modified weather. Yes, we've got technology that modifies the weather. And all the people? Well, not all the people. I believe those of us that have the protection and direction of the Holy Spirit are have a shield, like the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, which is an offensive weapon. And let me tell you, the truth is offensive. And I want, when people find me offensive, what I want them to find offensive is the truth I'm representing, not my fleshly expression of that. And I don't live perfectly. What I want to digress back to is that, so I delight myself in the Lord, and He gives me the desires of my heart. He's not a cosmic bellhop waiting for me to ask Him or tell Him what I would like Him to do in my life and in the rest of the world and all the other people and all that. What He does is He places in my life a desire to do what He created me to do, even down to an individual, do I go left or right, and I've got less than a second to decide. In the last 2 weeks, I was almost hit by a high-speed truck, colored black. He ran a red light, and when he zoomed by me, he was close enough that I could have touched him with my hand. He was going about 65 miles an hour, and he would have broadsided me. It was that close. And when he zoomed around me, he zoomed left and got up on the overpass to go on, or the on-ramp to go on Highway 31. And he had little official blue lights flashing around his license plates, like when a plane wrapper, law enforcement, like a DEA agent or something like that. There was no printing on the side of the vehicle. It was like a Men in Black vehicle, tinted windows, and all that. It wasn't. He wasn't like a game warden that had the big emblem on the side. He might have been some kind of game warden. He might have been some kind of special. It was right around 9/11. It was like the day before that, I believe it was. So let's see. So I'm gonna have to go and read these comments because uh, I can't read them real good when I'm this far away from my phone. And one of the reasons why I have my phone number out there, it's nice to talk with friends. I made or met a gentleman this morning that followed me on Instagram. His name is Ted. He also goes by Theodore. And I said, "Do you mind if I call you Ted?" He said, "Do you prefer Theodore?" He said, "Oh, Ted, Teddy, Theodore, any of them are fine." I said, "Well, I like Ted because I like TED Talks and it's short and sweet, and I'll remember it. I'll remember you." And I added him to my contacts, and we interacted for about an hour and a half in the wee hours of the morning. And and it was great. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my healthy protocol of bathing in reverse osmosis, carbon filtered water. I've got an RO system filling up my tub, another one that I fill up jugs in the kitchen or in the laundry room. If it overflows, it goes into the washing machine, and that can happen. And then I can use it to wash my clothes. What I add to that highly aggressive water, reverse osmosis water, is biomimicry that mimics a seabird, allowing the molecules of water to go through into the bird, and then it spits out the brine. The water in my bathroom that's going into RO has water the wastewater going into the toilet. I could fill a jug up if I wanted to with it, but anyway, that's another story. I try to be as efficient, and I like to save things. I like to save money wherever I can. Uh, the the electrolytes that I add to my purified water, grounded water, I've got a ground wire going into the bath water. It's an insulated tub, so it doesn't have metallic conductive plumbing grounding it, okay, because it's polyvinyl chloride, PVC. So I've got that ground wire going in, and water itself is not very conductive. It's the electrolytes in the water that conduct electricity. So I add a tablespoon of each of the following: a full spectrum sea salt, like from a vintage ancient seabed, like up in Utah, Redmond, or, okay, so here we've got a whole group of folks. Sometimes I'll see them typing in their phone, my car, and looking up and waving at me too. Anyway, so I'll just keep on talking, and I put the boron in the water, a tablespoon of boron, baking soda, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and also 7 drops of each of the following of chlorine dioxide, the 2-part solution. It kills parasites in the water. That's a topic that could get me taken down or deplatformed as well. I had a video taken down, and I was warned that I was uh, promoting or putting out medical disinformation. It's a water treatment solution that you can get in a camping section at Bass Pro Shops or Walmart. I get mine on Amazon. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon. I got bulk seeds and all kinds of survival resources, because off grid, we might end up all being off grid. If they cut the grid, if they have a blackout, it can be selectively, it can be an AI generated caused power outage. It can be manipulated by people that are manipulated by the AI to throw to throw the switch. Hey, she liked the Bible.com on there. I'm gonna step on over there and let you see this for a minute. Hi there. Would you like me to put you both in the photo? Would you like to be in the photo? Yeah, Bible.com. Awesome. And I've got a YouTube channel and more. I do. Canada. Love Canadians. Here, let me do one like this too. And how about right near the Truthmobile? Do you mind? And then I'll grab one over this way too. There you go. And I've got I do. I've got So right now I've got a live stream going on there right now, so you'll see yourselves on it. You can even tell your friends out there. Are you close to where the fires have been? No, we're okay. Did you have truckers visit you a little while ago? Was that? Not regularly. Oh, very good, very good. Well, I'm Robert Ford. And you are? Cindy. And nice to meet you. How long are you here for? Oh, nice. exposing the truth about everything that I've been able to find out about. If you think I missed something, you could give me a call, send me a link, or put it in a comment. Okay. Very good. Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you. Thank you. So that is Tim and Cindy from Canada. They came to visit a friend, another Christian couple that they met in Mexico. And so like right there, the lady is looking to pay. Let me, oh, maybe they know. Oh, it looks like they do know. They're in free parking. When I see people go over there to pay and they're up in the free parking area, I'll typically say, yeah, you don't need to pay if you're parked up there. There's 99 free spots here. And Tim and Cindy that I was talking to there, I took a picture of them. Obviously, you saw that. That's part of the outreach that I'll do here. Because the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier is right there in front of the Prince Resort, there will be people that have photo opportunities there. Weddings are performed next to there. Cheerleaders, TikTokers, um, like major TikToking events. I've met people from out there, and one of them actually made a video, took one of my YouTube videos that I shot down at the point, and in like a week it had 1.3 million views. Me talking about the stationary level Earth. You can hashtag stationary level Earth and see it. You don't feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating, do you? This right here is a bubble level, a post level. So I can set this on a surface and it'll show me whether it's level. You can use it to, or one like this, I got it from Amazon, to level a motor home or expose the global eye. Yeah, yeah, I can set it up so the bubble is level and it'll stay there all day and the sun, moon, and stars will move. You can set a machinist level. You see robotics. My friend Harco believes I'm wrong about that. He works on AI robotics systems and all that. And I said all the machines have to be on a level. You can't have level on a spinning, wobbling, and gyrating globe with upside down people and wind chimes hanging upside down in relationship with one another. It's not even possible. We don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. Whether it's the water in the glass, the water covering the face of the earth, the water in my body. This water has been is the carbon filtered, solar activated, reverse osmosis water. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? It depends. Depends on the temperature. The temperature changes the molecular displacement of the water. So it expands and contracts. A gallon of water is around 8 pounds. A lot of people don't know that, or they may give you an exact number, and then I would say at what temperature. Most of the time they don't know. Okay, so the water matters. My frustration with, I've been drinking reverse osmosis water for over 40 years. I put coconut oil on my skin. I bathe in the purified water for about 5 years now. I make a concerted effort to eliminate toxins from my diet, therefore from my body, from my cognitive function, from my cellular operation at a cellular level. The water molecules assimilate better when when there's proper sea salt and electrolytes. How adorable. Oh, she's barefooting it. That is so cool. Earthing, barefooting, grounding, very healthy. All right. Reason why I mention that is I'm grounded too. Grounded in the Word of God. I'm rock solid on the solid rock of Christ. You can hear me say that on the PewDiePie video at the Flat Earth International Conference. Like I told him, I've been viewed over, this car and myself have been viewed over 40 million times. I could not make that happen on my own volition with my own creativity. It's all by divine intervention. Okay, so what will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? Priceless. So there was a car driving by, and a 17-year-old passenger is rubbernecking, looking at my car, the Truth Mobile. That's why it's such a big deal. I'm not. So I wanted to have a Toyota Prius because it would be way more economical. I would get about 5 times the fuel economy of this. And with gas being as expensive as it is, that's helpful. I can get around at about anywhere between 50 and 75 miles to the gallon on my 750 Shadow Truth Cycle, which is pretty cool. However, it doesn't have the advertising gravitas of the Truth Mobile. I was going to put my, let's see, do I want the shades on or not? I know some people are so anti-sunglasses, like I'm hurting myself for having them on now. No, it's okay. I'll be all right. I get plenty of sun. But I wanted to put them in my case. There we go. So anyway, Sabrina Wallace is talking about hacking humanity in the biofield, and she is a character to listen to. And here's what's funny about this. She met the people from Silicon Valley at Apple. You can hear her talk about it. She worked when she was younger in the earlier, when she helped integrate dial-up to high-speed broadband in Wisconsin. She mentioned Green Bay and let's see what else, Madison, I believe it was. But you can hear her talk about it. In Rice Lake, she worked in underground facilities, working with black projects, as she said. And so there is a lot of hidden information, suppressed information. Could the And sounds like she's a Christian too, with a rather colorful vocabulary and a real interesting presentation, I gotta say. So she's on a couple of channels. I follow her on her channel. A Plain Truth 15 has a version of her, and then another channel, I forget the name, but I followed them too, and then I'll go and I'll click on their about on their channel, and then I'll Instagram them. Some of what I've been doing now, instead of showing up as my channel name, Truth, it shows at Robert Forsch, because that's my Gmail. They did it for everybody else that I'm aware of. They don't show our channel name if it's on somebody else's channel, but if we're on our own channel, we show up as Truth. It used to be that on a live stream chat, I could click on somebody's channel name or their icon and go over to their channel. They wanted that cut off. So part of this tracking, tracing, databasing, threat assessing, and computer technology is literally mind-blowing. So what else comes out of Canada? D-Wave computers, quantum computers. You can hear Geordie Rose talk about it. And you can hear what they're talking about. There's ones and zeros and qubits, and can be a 1 or a 0. And I remember thinking about thoughts that just literally blew my mind as a boy, like infinity, forever, how long and how far. How long and how far, and I was like 10. And I had deep thoughts as a boy. When I went to take a test military testing at the Fox Valley Technical School, I tested high enough to be in an officer training. She said, you're very high in analytical deductive reasoning. So that was one of my proclivities, one of my displacements early on in the flesh. And then when I was born again, I have as much access to all information that the Almighty wants to give me. I don't need to know it all. I just need to know what He wants me to do and rely on Him to give me the direction, protection, and the power to do it. To say no where I need to say no to say yes where I need to say yes. If I say yes to Him, I don't have to be afraid of whatever anybody else thinks they're gonna do to me. I'm not afraid. So that for people that are not afraid and are very aware and not afraid to tell, those are people I especially appreciate. So, I don't believe I believe I haven't mentioned the sentient world simulation in this live stream yet. Check this out. We're living in many simulations, guaranteed, and this base reality. I'm in a base reality where I met Tim and Cindy from Canada, and you saw me take their picture. And I'm talking to you from my car right now, doing a little video live stream. And this, if my channel and this video gets to stay up, this digital avatar will stay there as long as it can stay there. So here we go with some more kiddos. Will they see? Look at them go. And so just a simple wave and a smile goes so far. And they'll see my stickers around and perhaps they'll want to go there and check it out. I don't make money on YouTube. I spend money to do what I do. How much? All I got. I'm spending everything that I have to work with to do this. And I'm just going to keep on doing it. If I can have the cooperation of the system that wants to decarbonize the transportation and climate control and energy generation, that technology exists and they know it. I'm telling them that I'm telling on them. Elon apparently about triples his money when he sells electricity through the supercharging stations. Do you really think he wants to have a perpetual driving machine? Perhaps. Maybe he does. Elon, go ahead, if you would, please re-platform me. Yeah, let me back on the platform. When I was recovering, okay, so let me go back to the sentient world simulation. There's a digital avatar for each of us in silico that's created, that means in the computer network with many potential outcomes of whether you decided to click on this notification or not, how long you stayed on the stream or not. These variables are all being considered. Just like Amazon knows what I bought, what it thinks I might buy, and it knows that I was never next to Cindy and Tim before, and yet we had a little conversation. When I see people taking a picture and they're not a professional, I don't ask professional photographers if they want to be in the picture. Normally they don't want to do that. You know, they're the people that I recognize as pros. They're there to take a picture of the family that's dressed up for the photo shoot. Okay. So, and yet there will be, I've got stickers on each side of the pier where people walk through under the pier. It's a turning point. A lot of times people will go up and touch the pier, and my sticker is right there, right up there, right up on the pier. They can see that. And they can call me if they want. They can hashtag my name, which crosses over as many platforms as I'm currently on or will be on. It works like that. So what I could do the next time a group comes up, if they look like a group I'd want to talk to, I could freshen up my car then and they could hear me and I could wave and they may come over. I don't know. Not sure. Now is Society of Shaggers. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having fun. I love doing what I'm doing. In fact, I love my own comments. I heart them. Oh, that upsets the people that are haters. I love upsetting the haters, the deceivers, the liars. Yep, I sure do. So I'm going to go down on Main Street right now. I'm going to take us for a drive. And what's going on there, Society of Shaggers, it's a group of people that come from all over the area, all over the country and North America. Shag is a dance that was apparently originated here. And so there will be a lot of people that aren't there because they they were afraid and they took experimental medical treatments, and they're not here now, or they're not able to travel anymore, that kind of thing. Okay, so on the Sentient World simulation, I've got documentation on that. Elon says it's 1 in billions. We're in the base reality. I'm calling bullshit on it. Every one of us has, I believe, a base reality that we're living in, and multiple simulations with many. It's like a war game simulation. The NASA war document, the document from the report from Iron Mountain, you can see it on my channel. It's enslavement of humanity, the extermination of humanity. You can hear and see Deborah Tavares. I like to approach with caution. Here's the car. I can see it on the light there. There he is, moving up. So there's clues all around. All around. Will he wave back? Of course. There it was. Why not? People could use a whole lot of friendly in this world. A smile and a wave goes a long way, I believe. I'm all about that. Why not? So I have to estimate my speed limit because I can't see the odometer. However, I can use my flashlight to lock it in like I mentioned earlier, and I'm pretty good at estimating speed. In the morning, there will be a lot of joggers out here. I think I mentioned this before. I know I have on many videos. On a busy year, there will be, like in 2019, there was over 20 million guests that visited the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach. That's roughly, that's a lot of sand along the East Coast. It's called the Grand Strand. So Cindy liked seeing the Bible.com on my car. Some people don't like that, and that's, I'm not in charge of the. So the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, nor is it an opinion. It's simply the reality. And the more important the question, the more important an accurate answer is. So it goes back to where will you spend forever and why? That is a big deal. It's a big equalizer. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? It's priceless. So this is a moving billboard, is what it is. I've known people around here that I've known for, over 35 years in this area. I've lived here now for over 15 and a half years now. So I was able to estimate my speed exactly without seeing it. That's kind of cool. So I test myself. Neuromorphic chips in computer, taking human brain cells and merging them in silico in the computer system with the bidirectional sentient world simulation. Well, that's some crazy sounding stuff, Robert. How about that? It's real. I've got documentation on it. I was following Dr. James Giordano, Dr. Evil, on Twitter, now X, neuroethics, speaking at Lawrence Livermore Labs in West Point and talking how the brain is the modern battle space. Yeah, you can hear him. Robert Duncan and I are mutual friends. We're following each other. I direct messaged Robert Duncan. He was on Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. I bought his book. Let's see, Operation Soul Catcher and more. He was one of the architects of the system of enslavement that we're exposing. I believe he's one of the good guys. I really like him. Anyway, this is so surreal. I feel like I woke up in a Twilight Zone episode. It is a trip. So we have the motorcycle weekends or bike weeks that come here, and I meet people from all over that way. And then sporting events and car shows and all kinds of events that happen here over and over again. And the last 3 years have been odd, and a lot of that has lifted this year. So what's going to happen? I actually have a rather privileged position to do what I do. Oh, this is so funny. Okay, so I'm going to make a left in here at the horseshoe, they call it. It's a turnaround, and it's unlikely that I'll find a spot. It's possible, though. A lot of shaggers bring their own cars. They're not Ubering around as much because they're not getting as liquored up. Or maybe they are and they're just good at it. They're moving to the groove there. I appreciate the comments. I can tell that there's a lot of friendly comments. That is so nice. Okay, so can I make the turn? Absolutely. Without smacking anybody. Now let's see. Oh, I like to take it easy so I can maybe seize the moment, seize the parking space. Yeah, there will be no parking spot for me here. No way. But I can have a staging spot. There's a little ZZ Top they're playing. Cheap sunglasses. I can park here for a minute. So let's see if I can show you the band. Oh. Oh. Nope, they didn't leave a full parking spot. just a golf cart spot. So I'm one of the locals. I know how this works. It's time to put on my Ray-Bans, baby. Yeah, it'd be nice if I can find a spot. Unlikely gonna happen. But I'm ready. I think I might be able to grab a non-parking spot right there and not upset as many people. Perhaps. Oh my gosh, I'm leaving a big pile of smoke out there. I think I floated one of my valves and have a little discoloration on my intake manifold. Maybe a valve guide O-ring leak. Could be. He's a treasure hunter. No, a fisherman. Oh my gosh, he's got the spot. So here's what I'm gonna do. I've got to get in the preferred spot. Hey man, are you taking off? Excuse me. Hello? Are you pulling out? Huh? Are you pulling out?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Thanks, man. Okay. So I'm gonna walk on over for just a bit. Yeah, baby. Rocky Mountain Way, baby. Joe Walsh. Got one of these, I recognize faces and sounds, and it's like a large language model of this world inside my head. Or is it? How about just remembering so much is part of it. And then another big part of it is that I can recognize whatever the Almighty wants me to. So I'm thinking I could give him a card. What do you think? He's walking up there, so I'm not going to chase him down, but I got to wave from him. This isn't as good of a spot as one that I can get. I'm going for an upgrade. Hey man. So on Thursday nights, we'll have concerts here in the summer, which is pretty cool. And in the summer, this will be so happening with thousands of people. And I'll just park my car up in one of the front spots there, and people will wave and come by and want to know more about what's I got going on. And that's cool. I mean, it's actually pretty fun to do that. And there's a curiosity because there's a lot of cars around. I don't know of any others like this one. I think that's pretty good. So one night I was here, I was parked up here, and I don't think it was this band. The guy said, hey man, I saw you on the Highway 31. And we had an opportunity to talk for a while. 31 is close by here. It's one of our main coastal thoroughfares. So in this, not only do I see the people that come here to visit, I visit the people that visit the people that work with them. So the AI is so sophisticated, the quantum computer simulation of this reality, that part of what it'll do is seam things together. So when I wave at a Tesla, I'm waving at the quantum supercomputer that is monitoring the full self-driving feature, in fact, enabling that ability. So there's a lot of digital imprints of this car and me together. Whether I'm on the motorcycle waving to them, why is the motorcyclist waving at a Tesla? That's like a meme. So is me waving at them in this car. This car is a meme of sorts. So I like it. This is the Spanish Galleon here. Pretty happening place. And looks like we've got rain rolling in. There was a tropical storm off the shore, off the coast recently. Long, cool woman in a black dress, the Hollies. So, have any of you ever used Shazam? Shazam is an app you can get for free, and it will recognize songs, and then it will go ahead and let you know who played the song, and actually send a link. You can click on it, add it to your library. Now there's looks like a spot opening up there, perhaps, or maybe they just got here and I missed it. I'm not sure. So I'm going to put my blinker on like I'm going to take the spot in case, no, they're getting here, they're not leaving, I think. Oh, he's trying to figure out the payment thing, I think. That's a pretty regular deal. All right. Ah, there's a nice little Prius right there from Florida. So one of the things that has happened is because the Prius is so economical, and this is apparently the most driven to destination in North America. That's the story. That's what I'm told. I didn't realize I could find a parking spot here. That's unusual. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to want to stay here though. I think I pretty much accomplished what I wanted to at this time. I'm going to just take it on out. And then I can show you something else, what it's like to have a climate-controlled mobile recording studio, especially in the rain. So nice. And one of the reasons why I ordered the Cybertruck, I thought it would be an excellent way to stick out and for people to go, man, that is a cool truck. And especially since I'm exposing the truth about the mind control and Neuralink and all that, and suppressed energy propulsion systems, water and magnet motor powered cars. And what's the truth about Elon Musk? What's the truth about any of us? One of the things about Elon Musk is he's one of the most powerful people in the world, apparently, or the empire that he's representing. Okay, and is he one of, who's his daddy? The Almighty or the Fallen One? There's not an in-between group, as far as I know. So we've got elect and fallen angels, elect children, and fallen ones, Satan's children. Just wanted to make sure that was all secure. Looks like we're going to get some rain here in a bit. Let me flip that around. So I've seen it rain really, really hard here. I've got deep tread on my tires. That was a priority because when rain comes down super fast, I mean, I'm talking about inches of rain in minutes at times when a band of storm comes in, a tropical storm, and if I'm out storm chasing, I definitely want to have the adequate tread to channel that water out of my way. And sometimes I'm a little heavy on the foot, on the throttle. It's trying to blow the crap out of this. I had a problem with the car years ago, like 3 years ago, and it had some old fuel in it that led to some drivability problems and an electrical anomaly as well. So apparently the, oh, that's the Intracoastal Waterway at a different location. But what I wanted to mention is the high-tech cars, like full self-driving, can they just drive away from their owner? Perhaps. I've got friends that say, no, they can't do that. They're not programmed to do that. Oh, okay. So you can get an over-the-air update that can give you a lot more speed and performance for your vehicle, but they can't drive your car away. I've heard reports of people that didn't pay their car loan and their car drove away. And then it was picked up by a tow vehicle. So anyway, apparently that can happen. So one of the filtering mechanisms that I use is a question. It's not a simple question. It may sound like it. Why? How? Is it actually true? Those are different questions that I will ask. Is it actually true? Or is it part of the crafted official deceptive narrative? Which is it? Is it true or something else? I can tell you there's a whole lot of something else going on, and it's not true. There I was able to nail the exact speed without looking at the being able to see it. How is that? Well, there's a machine learning capability that the computer systems have, and then they update the whole fleet. So there's apparently billions of hours of drive time through the Tesla full self-driving network. So when Elon had autonomous driving days, I watched it multiple times. It was like 5 hours long. I wanted to learn it. I've got a video that I featured on my liked video on my playlist, how you can learn anything. I've learned a lot about the legal system, the financial system, loaning money into existence, creating money out of thin air, holding the world enslaved to a system they don't realize exists. Yeah, how about that? I'm not peering out my shades of my home all barricaded in like I'm freaked out about it all. What are they going to do? I don't know. What is God going to allow them to do? That's one of the other things. So that's the big deal there. What would they want to do? Well, maybe shut me up. I don't know, maybe they're just really interested in who will listen to a long video like this, and then who's going to follow up and say, I'm going to check that guy out. I'm going to check that research library out, see what it's all about. Is he promoting a lie, or is he exposing the truth like he says he is? Well, I sincerely would want to know if I were deceived about something. By irony and paradox, the deceived do not know that they are in fact deceived. That's the nature of this reality. We don't know what we don't know. So I know people personally, collectively, that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they are spreading Jesus all over what they do. Is that false advertising, or is it true? Are they actually born again, or just think they are? like I did? I don't know. Do they even have a clue what I'm doing now? I'm not sure. I worked for several of them, maintaining their estate in Corpus Christi, Texas. Do they even know? I'm not sure. So it's out of my control. All of this is. The Almighty knows what I'm doing. He created me to do this, as weird as it may seem. Why would anybody do that? Blows my mind. I've had death threats while I'm driving this car. Not like somebody that I just saw on the road. The caller said, "You got 10 hours." I said, "For what?" He said, "To live." How about that? Actually, the Prius is a little bit quicker than this car because it uses a symbiosis of electric and high efficient energy electric motors. The plug-in Prius Prime, I could work that out to be completely, I believe it could be driven with water and regenerative braking, or a permanent magnet motor generator. The Prius Prime will drive on full electric as long as there's sufficient electricity to do that. That's the newest generation Prius. It's one of the, it's amazing. So I could put together a perpetual driving machine, even if it's only in the theater of my mind, and whoever listens to this and says, "I'll do that, I could do that," might cost you your life. I don't know. It's not the primary. It is not the primary purpose of my life to decarbonize transportation. That same technology of water propulsion can run a generator. You can cook with it. You can cook with HHO. You can cut steel, melt rock with it. How about that? I've got content backing that statement up. Thought I'd go for a little drive this way. So one of the things with a Toyota Prius is it's an extremely efficient engine, the design of it. So it could run on the water system. And then the generator that it uses to fill up the battery can also climate control the inside of the car when the engine is not running. And it could be a wonderful camping vehicle. People car camp in Priuses. There's lots of channels that do it. Now I've got an inverter and a few like 3 deep cycle batteries on grounds that I can run an inverter to keep my freezers cool. What happens if so like the other night I shut my power off in the house. I flipped the breaker. What if those wildfires, so-called, some of the areas that were incinerated, what happened if smart meters were used to pulse the whole electrical system of the houses? There's a lot of anomalies at the so-called wildfires that killed a lot of people and burned up a lot of desirable real estate that people didn't want to move off of. Disaster capitalism is a thing. So whether or not it was, I don't know who exactly set the fires, multiple fires I'm talking about. One thing for sure is there was big money that was willing to take over the property. And who's the insurance company going to pay if all the paperwork was burned up and all the recipients of the benefits were burned up too? Imagine that. Who would do such a thing? Well, people working for the dark side, evil people, evil entities. So I'm telling on them because I can. Rather than having a manila envelope under at an attorney, in case something happens to me, it's like, what good would that be? I would rather enjoy the ride right now and live it to the absolute fullest. That I'll do whatever the Almighty created me to do. And everybody else can deal with it. However they want to deal with it. Kill me. See what if they can do it. I don't know that they can. I couldn't even kill myself. In 2005, I survived a near fatal suicide attempt. And when I was I was on pharmaceuticals as directed, Prozac and Depakote, a high morbidity rate around those mind, mood-altering chemicals, drugs. That's why I'm exposing the medical industrial complex for the collusion between regulation and the corporate entities that had or have those individuals in sweetheart deals with them. And then what about our elected officials that get really wealthy, have really good results in the stock market and in their investments? Huh. What a coinky-dink. I'm a coincidence investigator and a conspiracy theory investigator. There's a veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories to hide the true conspirators and what they're actually up to. How about that? Ooh, I'm able to nail the speed pretty good without looking. I'm just confirming. So sometimes people will make comments and they're asking multiple questions that would take a long conversation to work out the answer to. So that's typically why if somebody has a very complex question, I'll answer it with, if it's friendly, thank you so much, call anytime, and I'll put my research library link there. What I'm encouraging people to do is all those questions that can be answered very easily, or can be answered just by looking at my profile. Well, please don't. I mean, if you want to have small talk, that's okay too, because it can get lonely out there. It's just that sometimes there's phishing going on, synthetic profiles. They may be non-human intelligence just pumping me for information, throwing as many robot responders as it can, and see what I do with it. So I run my own test. If they don't call me, oh, my phone is broken, they look like a supermodel, I'm thinking, are you serious? Or I'm at work, I can't call you, but I can text you. Whatever. Is it true? Is it real? Or is it just more lies? I lost my appetite for all that, all the lies. I think that's a bald eagle right over the road. Yep, it is for sure. Diving right there. I can see the tail of them. Wow. Oh, man. Well, I can turn in here and I can maybe get a shot of them. Let's see. Yeah, baby. That's a bald eagle. Where'd he go? I've got a video thumbnail on my Facebook that has a bald eagle in it. You can see it if you want. I caught him. He was in a tree, and I zoomed in on him, and right away he flew and caught a fish in the surf. Oh, this is perfect. Elvis the pelvis, the porta potty. Playing it. Thank you very much. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? No, we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello. It's just water seeking its level. That's what it does. Oh, there's the eagle flying over the neighborhood over there. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get a shot of him. I'll tell you what I can do. As I do that, I will drive through this neighborhood and let you know that these homes made of sheetrock, 2x4s, 2x6s, vinyl siding, and strand board could be made out of steel reinforced insulated concrete and get much better energy efficiency and withstand wildfires, earthquakes, hurricanes, and the climate control is less than half of the energy. RSG 3D panel or 3D panel construction. I've got videos showing it. So they're going to pour a slab on top of, in those forms there. And I prefer basements. If you're high enough above sea level, you can have a basement and harvest the thermal energy of the earth. In that subterranean energy, subterranean environment is very quiet, cool in the summer, warm in the winter time, and all of that. How about that? So my dad sold steel not only to Oshkosh Truck, Manitowoc Engineering made tunnel boring machines, and Caterpillar Corporation wanted my dad to go work for them in Illinois. Here's a cat right here. A little one. They make big ones. They make diesel electric ones too. How about that? Diesel electric cats. You can look in my videos on the beach renourishment projects that I show. Let's see. There's a Hi-Ho over there. It's got a really long boom on it for digging water retention ponds. Now, a public works project, it's worth showing because I can talk about it or I can show you. So I'm going to zoom in on this bad boy. He's got a big reach. Let me show you. That's an extra long digging arm. So he can dig really deep. He's going to take that. It's probably not going to be a woman. I don't see many operate. Well, let me pull up, illustrate this a little bit more. This pile of dirt came out of a hole that's going to be filled with water when we get those torrential downpours, and so that people won't have their living room filled up with water. That's why. That's how it works. I'm not imagining it. It's not my opinion. It is a freaking fact that if you dig a hole in the ground, water's going to fill it up. Whether it's rainwater. Oh, there's a bird down there, a big one. Let me show you. He's climbing up the hill. What's the matter? You been a truth guy before? Now, it's a big crane. I think he'll probably fly, but I'm going to show you anyway. Here he goes. Yep. How about that? Aerodynamics. The Bernoulli principle. That's how they fly. Now that little digger there is just used to do some utility stuff around, and there's a pump right there. It's probably a diesel. Diesel still serves quite a purpose, of course. We've got plenty of uses for petroleum. It's abiotic oil. We don't have to worry about peak oil. That's a lie. Abiotic means it's continually being regenerated. How about that? Did you know that? So he'll dig a deep hole, and then they'll put it in a big pile here, and then they can take that earth and use earth movers like this in that big truck right there that they load up. And if they need a little bit more elevation in an area, by golly, they'll do it. And that's how it works. When I was a little boy, like 2 years old, I remember my dad pulling, and I remember the age because it's when I first started swimming with a mask and flippers and all that. And we would go up to the chain of lakes in Wisconsin. I'm going to show you water dripping out from underneath my car. It's an atmospheric water generator. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay. Control. Differential that air conditions my car goes ahead and just drips on the ground. Now I've got plenty of water around here. However, I could retrofit my a water recovery bottle on that so I could harvest energy from, or water from the air. It's called an atmospheric water generator. How about that? So they actually make them that can take solar energy, like an Aptera. You can see it on my playlist. It can have 1,000 miles of driving on a battery charge, and then it can charge up with the sun. So you can see it. I actually went out to the Aptera factory over a decade ago, closer to 15 years ago. I went out to California and put a hydrogen HHO generator on my supercharged Buick Park Avenue. I've taken apart and put motorcycles back together, like right down to the frame, repainted them and that. The reason why I didn't do the replacing the ABS system on the Prius, there's only one way to get it right and a whole lot of ways to get it wrong. And there's computer calibration that needs to be done, and dealerships are not eager to help a shade tree mechanic not get the job done at their shop. They may do it for you, or maybe not. So I talked to a representative at the company, and he was not eager to calibrate a system installed by somebody else. The mechanism between the dash and the under the hood component. I'm looking for that Eagle. I don't know how much you'll be able to see it if you want to replay it, but it was spectacular to me anyway. Want to fly? I want to fly like an eagle. Yeah, how about that? Stevie Miller, Stevie Guitar Miller. How about that? Okay. Yeah, I won't subject you to much of that. I could karaoke along pretty good with a music soundtrack though. Okay, so here's another thing. If somebody wants to get away from it all and they want to be dropped onto an island with a few containers like that one right there, and that's a little small, but like shipping containers, you could have cement and some equipment and hydroponic garden equipment and all kinds. You could actually live on an island. And yet some of us metaphorically are on an island where we are cast out from the rest of friends and family for telling the truth about what really matters. When people want to talk about sports teams and outfits and all kinds of matters of little to no significance, we're the people that want to talk about the serious issues of life, and it's not popular. That's how come I got uninvited from any other family gatherings. Even my family coming out here for Thanksgiving, perhaps, if we don't have some cataclysmic event that keeps everybody at home, could happen. Even there, I'm not invited. I said, I told our oldest son I would be willing to go there if they would invite me. I should be invited. And then Joni says, well, ex-husbands don't go. I said, I'm not your ex-husband. I'm still your husband, and you're my wayward wife. Huh? And you're all born again? And you won't submit to my leadership as a husband, as a Christian man? Yep, that's the way it is. Oh well. So I have to deal with all the pain of this, and I'm not bitter. I I do have the opportunity to call it what it is. She's not going to see another, as far as she says, she's not looking for another man. One and done. That's pretty much where I'm at with women. I have women that are friends, and I talk to them regularly. I'm not romantically involved with anybody else, and there's not much romance going on. Like I say, I'm convinced that premarital sex, no marital sex. I know it happens. And some might find that embarrassing. I've got TED Talks where women are talking about intimacy issues. I can talk about this, and why not? Hopefully somebody finds some benefit from it. I'm having to pay the price, of a painful price. Okay, so let's see, where are we? We're out in the country. We got motorhomes and no trespassing signs and all of that over this way. So imagine 50 miles to the gallon instead of 10 or 12. And I know I can go off the road a little bit. I know I can go a little bit easier on the pedal. I'm just trying to clear the crap out of it. It had old gas in it, and it's still, I put injector cleaner in it, and that's part of the deal, is it helps clear it out. So on the left, the person that previously owned this camper dealer won the lottery and had a car dealership. Now it's a camper motorhome dealership. Pretty interesting. Another development, housing development on the right. We've got a lot of development happening here. Interestingly enough, all through the COVID situation, the last 3 years, apparently construction workers were non-mandated for the most part, and they were viewed as essential workers. And those coming across the border didn't have to comply with mandates in the experimental genetic engineering injections. How about that? It's a gene editing tool. I don't know what they're going to do next. Some would say whatever they feel like. I don't feel like a little burr in somebody's saddle or a little piece of lint that needs to be thrown away. No, I'm exposing the truth about it all, and people can make an informed choice on their eternity. This may be my last broadcast, I don't know. It's not in my playlist yet. I can't do that. As far as I know, I can't add a live stream to my playlist. Now there's tens of millions of occurrences of that playlist, and the censorship, the permanent deplatforming from X, previously Twitter, deactivated millions of them that were actually tweeted to world leaders. Vladimir Putin, Klaus Schwab, his personal and World Economic Forum empire, Larry Fink, Stephen King, Kanye West before he got deplatformed. Did he get to go back? I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop. I don't have a whole lot of appetite for the read-only mode. Now I can share something if I want by copying and pasting somebody else's stuff. I just kind of lost the appetite for it. Too much work. Not just that, I can put on my Facebook what I want, and they're pretty much apparently going to leave it there. And on YouTube, I copy and paste a link of maybe a Tucker Carlson. And there's plenty of YouTube that shows different influencers and in that are on the X platform. I'm not anti-X. I'm just saying, hey, I thought this was supposed to be the digital town square, the free speech oasis. I'm calling bullshit on it. That's not what it is. It's controlled opposition. The best way to lead the opposition is control it. And when you can't control it, you shut it down. That's what they did. He unplugged me. Elon. Now, Shalom Girl apparently that's the name of her channel, Shalom Girl. And I've shared the video where apparently Elon, she was a caregiver and knew of May Musk as the name Light, L-I-G-H-T. The family is pretty scary if you look into them and the bio on them. And May is throwing up a whole lot of one-eye Luciferian symbolism. And apparently she's African, she's practicing witchcraft. And Elon apparently has been working spells and he's into it as well. And certainly living a life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and sexual promiscuity, and mind controlling and manipulating humanity, working as a Department of Defense contractor. So there is technology that's being utilized, that's being presented as satellite technology that is, well, it depends on what you call a satellite. The people could be satellites. How about that? How about you beam an energy weapon that transfers information off of the firmament? Hashtag firmament, stationary level Earth. We got a structure above us. It's the firmament. It's a glass dome, apparently, or it's a structure. Genesis, you can read about it if you want. Have you had it with the lies yet? I know I have. Absolutely had it. I was looking at a pretty country setting with a pond and pretty homes and wandering off the road a little bit. Those strips, those divots in the asphalt, the blacktop, really work to get things back. Helps wake people up if they're falling asleep. We've got technology right now that can use a symbiosis between quantum computers and full self-driving and training the people as well. And the people training the computers. Excuse me. That's one of the reasons why I am so active, even if I only get a few views on a video. The AI is watching me like a hawk. Go ahead. I'm not all anti-artificial intelligence. I'm using it for good, exposing the truth about everything, sharing the gospel around the world, around the clock. There's a digital avatar of me. Even if YouTube takes me down, I've got a whole Odyssey library that you can find if you want to. That's why I have the hashtag my name, guaranteed to blow your mind. I'll use whatever I can. I said one of the last posts about me might be an obituary. I don't know. I don't have any control of that. I don't have anybody taking over my legacy account. I think I got a sheriff behind me. That's not a problem. No, I think it's just a family visitor with a roof rack. But here's the thing. I just go the speed limit, obey the laws because I'm supposed to. And it reduces the stress of the drive. Yeah, it's a Kia. I don't think they have Kia police cars here. I've got a miss in the car. There's like I believe, a blow-by on one of my intake valves that's causing the intake manifold on my car to discolor. I can do this. I don't want to run too long or the car will might get me stranded. Leave me stranded. There's, I believe, an electrical component that gets hot and then it just shuts down for a while until it cools off. I would rather take it home. Gosh, it looks like 7 of you are still there. I wonder if the AI is counting as one of those numbers. Could be. There's a lot of manipulation with numbers. I've had people say that they've seen a lot more subscribers recognized on my channel than 4,600, but I don't know. I don't know. I know the AI is watching, and I've got only I believe about 1,200 public subscribers. So there's like over 3,500 people that don't let their subscriptions be seen, and they certainly won't come out of the woodwork and show who they are. I have hashtag Tesla. Not just hashtag them, but put @Tesla, because then that'll show up. I see like Elon Musk as a prisoner of war. I don't know that he's ever going to be born of the Holy Spirit. I don't know that. I don't know that for anybody except those that are the Almighty's children. Who are they? I don't know. Not sure. So around here, there was a mowing crew, and a couple was driving in their car, and a blade came off of one of them and through their window and killed them both. I know that's a little, actually, very macabre. It's just that we all have an expiration date, and we don't know when it is at all. Now, when I was recovering from my near-fatal suicide attempt, I wrote down on a legal pad, extrapolating the whole regenerative braking Prius system in '05, that we could have an electric semi with regenerative braking on the trailer and a battery in the opportunity space in front of the semi wheels on the trailer. Why not? Makes perfect sense to me. I tweeted that to Elon, and one of the people responded to it saying Tesla doesn't make semi-trailers. I'm like, why not? First principles. If you can harvest a huge amount of energy that would otherwise be wasted as heat dissipated through friction, why not send it to a battery and then have all the semi trailers that are being dropped and picked up by a truck, they could all be fully charged. And you could have a magnetron charger that's an off-grid charging system. You can look at the Earth Engine on my channel using a magnetic flywheel, or the Troy Reed magnet motor generator, or the what's the other man's name? Newman, Joseph Newman, had a large energy generator. I think he called it Big Bertha or something like that. It's on my playlist too. It used to be a free movie on YouTube, and now it's a buy it. But you can, if you hashtag Joseph Newman energy, you'll see it. He was a genius. They killed him, they broke his invention, and made him out to be a whack job. And what they can do with voice to skull technology is beam thoughts and emotions and beliefs into people's head. We've got evidence of it. MK Ultra. Oh my gosh, there's a little travel dog in there looking at the Truthmobile driving by. That is so funny. Yeah, take a look at it, baby. Looked like a little poodle. Oh, funny. This whole thing is funny in an odd kind of meme kind of way. Yep, there's a bar and grill. Man, it used to be hard for me to go by those. I would get all liquored up. Don't need to. So part of the, I'm not a, God the Almighty is not a cosmic killjoy. When I submitted my life to Him and He gave me His Holy Spirit, I couldn't have submitted my life to Him unless I was actually being drawn by the Holy Spirit. Salvation is entirely monergistic. It's up to Him. He does it. He picks who He chooses. He chooses who He picks. It's He gives us what we need to do when I go home, I'm going to have the Holy Spirit there with me wherever I go, and 3 naked kitties. Smeagol, he looks like Mr. Bigglesworth on Austin Powers, and Dean Martin looks like a gargoyle, and Pearl looks like she's got little elf ears. Sphinx kitties is what they are. They're adorable. Back to the Prius that I couldn't get working because of the expensive repair. I had thought that it would be easier to have somebody either gift me one or I would just use this one. I didn't want to have a vehicle out on the driveway paying for insurance and licensing to try and work with it. I just thought I'm going to step away from it. I'm not like a little orphan in asking for a bowl of soup. It's like I'm giving anybody that wants to help an opportunity to expose the truth about everything. It's not just one topic, it's all of it. Like I say, if you think I've missed something, you can give me a call, send me a text, put it in a comment. I'm going to get some fuel right here and see what that little driving exercise cost me. Ah, yes. Sunoco. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little further. It's a little bit more than I need to pay right now. So they were in the far lane. However, the reason why I didn't pull out, man, I've seen them come over. That's pretty chilling. Nailed it. So sometimes people will say doing the same thing expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Like me telling somebody the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's a different day. We've had different experiences. There's an opportunity perhaps that God removed the veil from in front of their eyes. So it's not necessarily the same thing. It may look to them. The cognitive dissonance is a mental mental masturbation, or a way of people looking at life the way they want to see themselves and the world around them. A favored position, one that brings them pleasure, looking with an attitude of superiority, like I've arrived and you all are just deceived or stupid or something. Like the people with the PhDs and the, yeah, it looks like 20 cents cheaper right here. Yep. How about that? Yep. So largely people believe what they want to believe, seems to be the case. It's oh no, it is the same price. The sign advertised a little bit different. Anyway, I'll be right back. So that top off was, let me see, 2.5 gallons at $11.20. How about that? So it would have cost me about $1.50 with the Prius. However, there's insurance and there's more taxes on it, and all of that. So that's all part of the deal. And I thought, well, even though it's going to cost a little bit more, I'm going to do it anyway. So I did. So what I want to do is reprogram humanity and provide clean, abundant, free energy for everybody to fix up this mess of a world that we live in. Energy is involved in all the systems. Why people do what they do, I haven't even touched on, well, a little bit. The sea salt is really important to give powerful electrolytes. As electrical beings, we need to have an accurate, how would I say, an effective operation of the hydrating of the cells. I did mention it somewhat, but I wanted to go back to that as it relates to energy systems. Our body is an electrically operated entity, a being. We have neurons in our arms, in our stomach, and they interact with our cognitive function. It allows us to move our hands, our fingers, and to dance and to mope along and be happy and sad, and facial expressions like you can hear a smile when somebody's smiling and talking, apparently. I believe that's all true. That's all real. So I did videos with the audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation, driving cross country around Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin, out at the beach. One of my longest videos is from the Gospel of John to the Book of Revelation. It's 11 hours and 55 minutes. I listen to the Bible day and night, meditate on it day and night, because it's important. It is a tremendously beneficial focus of my attention. So when I'm hearing God's word and I'm actually thinking about what I'm listening to, then I'm not thinking about the problems as much in my life, or the things I don't like, or what I want to see different in the world. He helps me to help. I lost signal again. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway. So some of the people that I've met today, I don't know, maybe Tim and Cindy will watch. I would think so. The audio Bible the Lord has used the audio Bible to change my life. I'm going to give you an example. I have over 1,500 discs with the audio Bible on it. And then there's a 2-disc set that has Old and New Testament in only the English language. Now I have some Spanish versions on a different disc. However, Bible.com, let's see if I can show it to you. I can. I've got it on the car, and I've got it on the right there as well. It's a bit faded now. But Bible.com is God's Word in over 2,000 languages and multiple versions. The King James, the New International, and a wide variety of versions. So you can hear it if you want there. I make that available to people that way. So I can share the link. They can see it on the car. It's the YouVersion Bible. So you can click on it. And effectively, I share God's Word around the world, around the clock, doing that. And you can do it too. If you put it in a Facebook comment, the Bible shows up and it says, read the Bible, a free Bible for your device. Download it. It's been downloaded like over 3.5 billion times. And I've had an opportunity to be a part of that. I've been sharing that for over 9 years now. So in the garage I have a box of Bible discs that would cost me thousands of dollars to send out, or I can send them instantaneously worldwide, like I just did on this broadcast, by showing the Bible.com on the car, talking about it, talking about the benefits of it. What's not to like about that? Well, Satan doesn't like it. I'm doing it not to earn favor with God. I have favor with him. one of the main reasons that I'm doing it is because he created me to. And one of the benefits of this is that it helps facilitate and raise up an army of people that are laboring with us. Or if you're in Satan's family, we're your enemy. Maybe, perhaps, could be. Yes. So now we've got a large porta unit here. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to pull up here right now to show you the liquid mirror that this is. But I don't think I want to pull down in there in case the car shuts off. See the mirror that it is? Okay. Oh, it's another Elvis porta unit. How about that? Thank you very much. That was part of the mechanism intellectually that I put together in my mind. I would see the porta potties, and that's where I'd say we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia. I've had stories of people tell me that they were at Elkhart Lake and pushed a toilet over on somebody while they were in there. Not good. I'll be back. And that was part of so that was a number one. That was liquid only. And I remember thinking about all of this and all the complexities of how the celestial bodies move, and how the sun and the moon's movement prove conclusively that it's the earth that is stationary and level, and the sun, moon, and stars move above us. Well, that being said, one of the simplicities of water seeking level means when we pee, that water falls down. There's not somebody in Australia going in one of those with the pee going in the opposite direction from what I just did. That is absurd. Or that people would believe that there's upside down and sideways people peeing. It doesn't happen. So we can look at the texture, the rock, the sand, and all that, and then we can look at the water. And there's little water bugs and minnows on that, making that little rippling there. But it's a liquid mirror. And this is tidal affected. And it looks like there's some big honking mosquitoes I'm looking at too. Now, when I step out on here, I'm going to probably cause ripples to move out there. I don't have to try and make it happen. It's probably just going to happen by virtue of me walking out here. There they go over there. See it? And there they go there. It's just anticipating what's going to happen, and it does. So I'm making waves. They're little waves, but that's okay. All around this world. So this is the Waccamaw River, and several years ago we had water that was so high it was over the bridge, and then there were areas that had deer on top of second-story homes. Wow, there's some monster mosquitoes here. Yeah, and apparently they've genetically engineered flying injectors. Mosquitoes like malaria, you can get malaria apparently from mosquitoes. Well, apparently now, maybe more. So there's technology that's being put in the food, water, air, and the insects, genetically engineered mosquitoes. That sounds pretty weird, Robert. Yeah, boy, isn't it something that they would spend so much time and effort trying to kill us off? Bastards. I'm telling on them. So I've tweeted to Bill Gates. Oh, yeah, how about that? Yep, that's what I'll do. There's the Bible.com again. Check it out. So I get to do what I want because I get to do what He created me to do. He made me want to do that. The Bible teaches, I believe, the reality that the doctrine of election, the elect, I'm one of them. He created us, He prepared in advance good works for us to do. And in the last days, there is a delusion that is so powerful that, if possible, would deceive even the elect. That's a big little word there, if. So the great news is the elect will not be deceived. Apparently everybody else will. That's not elect. And like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there's a lot of hidden archaeological history to indicate that we've had a lot of destruction in this world. Mud floods, World's Fairs, incubator babies, World's Fairs distributing babies, orphan trains, Tartaria. Oh yeah, you can see it all on my channel if you want, if you look at it. Or in my research library, of which YouTube is only a portion of it. And I didn't get here on my own. I got here by divine intervention and a collaborative effort with people from all over. So about 100,000 videos that I had in the form of saved playlists on my channel were made private. I believe they made everybody's library private, with the exception of our created playlists, the ones that we make. So I share that with you so that you're aware that if you like a channel and you like the videos that they create, you can go over to their channel and see more of that same kind of content, perhaps. So my playlist is an advertisement, as in a truth sampler for the different content creators that I want to show you. And I've got the truth tellers juxtaposition the deceivers, meaning the liars and the deceivers are next to each other, and that's part of my work around the censorship. Because if I made a video criticizing the world leaders and using their content to do it, I'd be looking to get a strike and get my channel taken down. So I'm not going to do it. I'll just use their own created content to put next to the ones that I'm doing to expose them. That's how I do it. Now, I've had other people say it's brilliant. I believe it is. It's beyond me. And then putting my name all over and my phone number, that's another way. That's another way. We've got another large development going in here with excavators and all of that. Right near my house. We're almost home, or I'm almost home here. So this is a place called Tippy Toe Repo. or Tippy Toe Camper Storage, but they repo stuff. I think still, maybe. Looks like I've got a little coconut oil on my lens there. Oh, World Central Bank. Let me touch on that again. Okay, so here's my bank right here. It's where I bank. Now, it's impressive looking, real durable construction. And then, of course, there's the ATM. Oh, somebody's pulling in next to me. I'll just let them go. Don't want to freak them out or anything, but here's the thing. There's they loan money into existence, and the problem isn't with these little local banks. It's the world central banking system creating money out of thin air. It's counterfeiting legally. So I met Frank Abagnale, Abagnale, the guy that Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio movie was based on. Met him at Rawhide Boys Ranch when our son David was about 2 years old, I think. And so it was like 30 years ago. And he works for the FBI now in their counterfeiting department or area. Interestingly enough, perhaps he's unaware that he's protecting the largest counterfeiter of currency in the world. How ironic. Here I am, a guy driving around in an old car, exposing the truth about everything, and the irony of all of it. It literally blows my mind that I get to do this. Huh. All right. So I live in the Plantation Pines. That's where I live right now. Oh yeah, I heard some mockingbirds. Did you know mockingbirds like to sing a lot of songs early in the morning? Normally in the springtime, seems to be. So here's my house on the left, and I'm going to get back there in just a little bit. I wanted to go over to our pond, or it's our park, our local park here. Oh, this is kind of funny. I'll take the long way there, and I'll show you my friend Harco's Tesla if he's there right now. Sometimes I actually will go up to a Tesla by the camera on the side of the window post, the upright there, and I'll show them my camera. They may see it, they may not. I'm not going to touch the car. I'll just show it. Okay, is he there? Yep. Here it is. Right there. Beautiful car. Harco is a pretty nice guy. He came and helped work on my car a while back, a few days ago, actually. That was nice of him. What happened was we pulled a bunch of fuses out of, I pulled them out and cleaned some of them off. And he tested them for connectivity. And one of them seemed to be, or not just seemed to be, it was actually a bit tarnished. So what was up with that? It doesn't get real good connectivity when it's tarnished or there's oxidation on it. So I used a little bit of sandpaper, interestingly enough, that I found out at the beach. It was a brand new piece of emery paper. That was cool. So we've got security people that drive around here at night. I drive around here. A lot of people drive golf carts around here and keep an eye on the neighborhood. It's all very nice. It's easily recognized when something doesn't fit. Now, early on, like within the last 3 years, I remember of somebody that apparently was killed by somebody pretending to be a FedEx driver. Imagine that. Huh. Yep. So sometimes things aren't as they appear. Oh, we don't have the light on the fountain here yet. So it's a little park right here. I think I'm going to go take a drive by one of our fountains that does have the lights on. What was really cool with the Prius is I was able to drive around in here on only battery for quite a bit of time. It would just, oh yeah, I know a good spot I can take us. So a fountain is another example. The electricity drives an impeller, a pump that shoots water in the air, and then it just comes right back down. So some of my videos that I did early on in this whole questioning our reality is showing swans swimming and flying and flipping the camera upside down, showing them upside down and how ridiculous that is, or bulldozers on the beach with ships out at sea with water going the other direction opposite of what it would, all of that. So this is part of a pumping station for our neighborhood. This one's all posted here, and I've got a better one to go by. So apparently I'm on low power mode because I've been out at this for a while. See, here's another area that shows the pond, but there's property in between that would be walking through somebody's backyard. I don't want to do that. I'm already on the neighborhood radar. So one of my neighbors right over here had a brand new stainless steel charbroil infrared grill that was free, and it worked. It said free. It works great. It's like brand new, and it would have cost $450 for me to buy it. His name's Bob. We had a nice talk, gave him one of my cards, and it was great to meet him. How about that? I think that is so cool. So having a card that can lead people to find a whole lot of truth, I believe, is pretty important, pretty valuable. So evidently it's a little early for the fountains to be on. Let's see. But this hole in the ground, it has water filled up that's stationary and level. That's the way it works. So when we get a lot of rain fast, those ponds will fill up, and they do. That's how it works. The pond behind the house that I live in filled up, got pretty deep. In fact, for, I believe it was Hurricane Florence, we had a knock on the door at 10 o'clock at night, and the rescue people from around the corner, Horry County Rescue, they go and pick up people with ambulances and that. They were telling our neighborhood that by what they told us is by 4 o'clock in the morning, you're going to have 5 feet of water in your living room. Man, I'm glad they were wrong about that. But it was a tense moment where our Joni and I were deciding what to pack up and move, and so we had a lot of preparation to take care of. So we did. So there it is. That's where I live. For now. For here. And then there's hereafter. Man, I am looking forward to that. The hereafter part. Because I gotta say, this is tough. What's really hard is watching people struggle through this life, and they're making decisions that are terrible for them, and they don't know it. They can't see it. Most of them don't want to hear it. That's the other really painful thing to watch, especially when it's family members. They don't know, and they don't want to know that they don't know. They don't want to be told that they got it wrong. They don't want to be told that they're deceived. Oh well. That's how I found it. Painful. Very painful. There's the shadow, the truth cycle. I enjoy this so much. Let me put a little more light on it. So it is so nice, especially when there's storms, that I can just back this in and, well, I can close it up if I feel like it. Where in the world can a wind chime hang upside down in relationship to other wind chimes? That's what I asked Rich at the London Guardian. See that? And then I have this here. If somebody wants me to come out and talk to me, once they're at the door, go ahead and give me a call. Especially with all this COVIDiocy that was going on. No, I'm not wanting to come out. Don't have to. Can't make me. And then I've got the surfboard here. That'll be out there for people to see on the beach if they want, or sometimes I'll have it on the car. But when it's like the storming that we have, it's a lot nicer to not have it on the roof. If I'm not going to go out in the ocean, sometimes I just don't want it there. So we had winds come through here maybe in the 50 mile per hour. And it's nice to be able to secure the property. Another wind chime hanging almost perfectly still. And this is a little sanctuary. I get cardinals and lizards and little birds, ducks, geese. And this this water down here came up to this tree right here. I know it's pretty dark, but yeah, there's that. And there's a little dip in between the two houses here, just a little bit, a few inches, maybe 6 inches. It allows for the water to drain on out to the road. So this area here on my driveway is approximately 20 feet above sea level. So now I'm facing directly south. That is directly east, and that is directly north. And that's how it is. That's how I found it. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for your public and private encouragement. This is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. If you think I've missed something or have it wrong, you can give me a call, send me a link, or put it in a text. Thank you so much.